Coming up tonight, following an incident with school children receiving a whooping in Bimini, the country's social service minister says it's a no when it comes to corporal punishment on children. Plus, 2 men dead and 1 man in hospital after overnight shootings in the capital. Busy night for police. And the daughter of Major League Baseball great Wenty Ford is giving back in her father's name. Stay close as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend Edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Megan Shepard. Minister of Education Glenys Hannah Martin recently responding to an alleged incident in Bimini where parents say an officer beat several students, leaving them bruised about the body. Hannah Martin telling the media that it is time for a conversation on corporal punishment. While Minister of Social Services and Member of Parliament for West Grand, Bahama and Bimini, Obi Wilshcombe, is also weighing in.
Yeah, I'm with her. I was in Bimini on the weekend because of the incident. I went to my constituency. I went to meet with the parents and meet with the students who were affected. It's certainly unnecessary and absolutely wrong. There's no debate. It's impatient of debate. It should not even happen. We have to get rid of it because that's not the way you're going to cause for children's attitudes to change.
The minister says there are studies that show corporal punishment actually encourages negative behavior rather than curbing it.
It leaves scales and it leaves difficulties with these children moving forward. It's a psychological impact that we can't imagine. So why don't we use other methods to talk to our children, to work with our children, to give them opportunities? And we must, particularly in the Family Islands, cause for greater understanding the levels of education. Some of our children have difficulties in the Family Islands, and we have not been able to, over the years, we've not been able to find a way to put them in situations where they're best able to perform. So we have work to do, but corporal punishment is an absolute no-no.
Shot spotter technology alerting police to the country's latest homicides in 2 separate incidents last night. Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skipping says around 9:30 p.m. police were alerted simultaneously to 2 shooting incidents, one in Montel Heights and the other at Sampson Street, Nassau Village.
In the incident at Acre Close, information is that 2 males were standing on the outside of a residence at Acre Close when 2 males, both of whom were armed with handguns, emerged from a track road just off the east-west highway. The 2 suspects approached the 2 males, opened fire on them. Both males were shot multiple times. One of the males, who's believed to be in his late teens, succumbed to his injuries on scene. The second male was taken to hospital where at present his condition is unknown.
As for the incident on Sampson Street,
2 males were outside a residence on Sampson Street. One of the males was seated on a motorcycle. It is reported that a male emerged from the southern portion of Sampson Street, approached the victim who was seated on the motorcycle, opened fire on him, shooting him multiple times. He succumbed to his injuries on scene. In this particular incident, we are following significant leads.
These incidents come on the heels of an early morning discovery yesterday in the area of Big Fish Pond, where officers found a man's body burnt beyond recognition. Police are appealing to anyone with information regarding these latest incidents to contact police at the Criminal Investigations Department. Meantime, the Consumer Protection Commission is looking to regulate the funeral service industry as the legislation that speaks to the industry is 154 years old. Senior Education, Research and Training Supervisor Lavade Darling confirming as much, suggesting the legislation is outdated.
It's unregulated because the legislation that speaks to it is the Burial Grounds Act of 1869. It's an anachronism. It shouldn't exist in 2023, right? It's a problem, right? And so we are going to be, I've had my staff researching this area for basically most of the year.
He says the commission is looking at other jurisdictions to see how their laws address the industry. He says the commission has received complaints about the industry. Darling is calling on the Attorney General to assist in moving the amendments forward.
It's unfortunate, but we've had draft amendments to our legislation in draft form. They remain in draft form from 2018. So we are appealing to the AG and our minister to assist us in getting that legislation amended. We don't even have regulations, right? Price control has regulations to the Act, the Price Control Act. Consumer Protection Act never had regulations, right? And so that is a concern for us. So we want to strengthen our legislation so we can better protect the interests of you, the consumer public.
Just after the break, the Island Luck Cares Foundation donates $30,000 to the Gambling Addiction Awareness Program at Sandilands. Good corporate work. And the Women Thrive Summit 2023 is taking the message of two Bahamians to the world. The details coming up when Our News Weekend returns after the break.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
The Island Luck Cares Foundation is putting its money where its mouth is when it comes to outreach for people struggling with gambling addiction. Our Marlena Leonard has the story on the company's recent donation and the rehabilitative work it's helping to fund.
The Island Luck Cares Foundation recently donated $30,000 to the Gambling Addiction Awareness Program of the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, all part of highlighting March as Gambling Addiction Awareness Month. Island Luck's head of marketing, Kenny Mackey, says the company's efforts extend into how they train their staff.
Additionally, we will be holding training sessions for our customer-facing staff geared toward effectively identifying potential harmful behavior and the accurate and appropriate response. We will also be attending the Gambling Awareness Conference scheduled for October 16th and 17th of this year. It is our hope that with this contribution and our continued support, that we can ensure that the industry, and most importantly, you, the customers, have the tools and resources needed when needed.
Customers can set their own limits, Mackey tells us, saying he hopes these safety lines will help ensure the platform remains the source of entertainment it was intended to be.
So we have several guardrails in place, not just to identify, but also to give people self-help. So we have self-imposed limits. So you can go in and you could actually limit how much you can game per day, per week, per year. It's also self-exclusion, where once you're admitted for self-exclusion, 1 year, 5 year lifetime, you can't walk into any gaming establishment, period. And again, it's not something that's just for one gaming house. This goes to the gaming board, and they send it around to all established operators to ensure that they enforce that policy.
And their donations have already made a difference in the capacity of the Gambling Addiction Awareness Program at Sandilands, according to the program's chairperson, Paulette Dean.
Indeed, the strategic partnership has served as a model for problem gambling treatment and recovery both nationally and regionally. Since last year, we are happy to report that 2 additional problem gambling specialists, along with 4 case managers, were professionally trained to better assist persons and their families during the assessment, treatment, recovery phases and their addictions. Your contributions made this happen. We thank you.
Reporting for Our News, Weekend Edition, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Excellent initiative. Thanks for that report, Marlena. Women from all over the world will come together to empower and uplift each other, igniting the passion to do great things. The Women Thrive Summit 2023 is taking the message of two Bahamians to the world, March 20th through the 24th. Mental health and purpose coach Beijing Rogers is one of the youngest speakers on the lineup for the biggest global event for women virtually.
My talk title is on parenting tomorrow's superheroes, raising confident and authentic children. I believe that it takes a village to raise a child. And as an island nation, we have grounded in our culture and the way that we raise children and our family structure that It takes everybody to raise children, but in this 21st century, I don't see that happening as much.
Rogers says she believes we need all hands on deck to ignite that fire. Producer, TV host, speaker, and purpose coach Earlene Camille is also looking forward to spreading her message.
I will be speaking on connecting, securing, and sustaining a lifestyle of purpose. Hearing a message like this and then the messages of the other women who are on this transformative platform will help to answer a lot of the questions around fear, around limiting beliefs, and help to connect all of the dots to push you to the next level.
20 countries will be represented with more than 50 speakers focusing on leadership, trauma and healing, community building, and business success. The conference is geared toward all women of any background and all ages. To find out more or to register, visit womenthrivesummit.com. Waterkeepers Bahamas recently recognized for work in restoring mangroves that were destroyed on Grand Bahama following Hurricane Dorian. Executive Director of Bahamas Protected Areas Fund, Karen Panton, says the organization went above and beyond the call of duty. She shares some of the accomplishments that helped the organization earn the Grantee Excellence Award.
To engage communities, to engage us as well. They were very pivotal to us when we had a very senior, I should say, a very large meeting of the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund here. They were more than just grantees. We would say that Waterkeepers Bahamas became a partner for the fund. We were very, very pleased then that not only was Waterkeepers instrumental in achieving its mission, which was to plant more than 30,000 propagules at Dover Sound, but also in generating or showing that spirit of partnership excellence that we want to see in all of our grantees.
Executive Director of Waterkeepers Bahamas, Rashima Ingram, says the organization is grateful to be recognized for the Dover Sound Mangrove Restoration Project.
That's huge for the over 15 civic organization groups that participated in the mangrove planting. Just in one day, we planted over 10,000 mangroves, one day. And we've been doing mangrove plantings since the start of December. But it didn't begin there. It began when we involved the community through our educational program, and you would see the billboard in the back with the mangrove web. We also had mangrove trainings. We also had workshops and presentations with GGYA, with navigators. So it was a lot that was done in order to be able to reach that number over the 30,000.
Panton explains just how important environmental groups are, explaining that their work is often underappreciated.
They work with excellence, the bulk of them, all of them actually on the Waterhouse, but so little of that work is actually understood and appreciated, and so little of that work is funded. When we speak about the critical importance of biodiversity, the importance of preparing, adapting to climate change, one gets to understand why protecting our critical ecosystems, our key species, the areas that we all love, that our tourists come and enjoy. The work is, again, not clearly appreciated, but certainly the benefits of that accrue not only to us now, but certainly in the years to come.
Still to come, the Consumer Affairs Unit celebrates World Consumer Rights Day, and the daughter of a fallen legend in Major League Baseball decided to give back through a foundation honoring her dad. We have the details when our news weekend returns.
Shareholders are very happy.
Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. The Consumer Affairs Unit celebrating World Consumer Rights Day this past Wednesday. The department hosted a 3-day exhibition in Pompey Square, giving residents an opportunity to learn more about clean energy transition. Price Inspector in the Consumer Affairs Unit, Kish Taylor Thompson.
World Consumer Rights Day is very important to our consumers because we're out here educating the public the benefits of being a consumer and what rights you have as a consumer. So we just want to empower consumers, teaching them the benefits and the importance of clean energy, how to transition onto clean energy. And so for that reason, we have numerous vendors. We have BPL, we have Easy Car Solutions, and those persons are here to better educate the public on why it's important to transition into clean energy.
As the country prepares to celebrate 50 years as an independent nation, one proud daughter is doing her part to celebrate the legacy of her late father, Percival Wentworth Wenty Ford. Dr. Wentia Ford, founder and president of the Wenty Ford Sports Foundation, shares just a little about her father's professional start in the major leagues.
So my dad, Wenty Ford, is the first and only Bahamian in our 50-year history in the Bahamas to ever pitch in the major leagues. September 10th, 1973 was when he made his first debut in the major leagues, which was against the San Francisco Giants. He did pitch the entire game, and that was his first game, and he did win that game. So very important moment in the Bahamian history, since it's now our 50th year anniversary of our independence. Is also his 50th year of his anniversary of his first appearance in the major leagues. And however, there hasn't been another Bahamian to pitch. We've had numerous Bahamians to play in the major leagues, but he, as of this date in our 50-year history, he still holds that record, or that moment in history.
The foundation was founded last September, but will be open to children in the Centerville community this September. The program will run concurrent with the traditional school year.
I opted to establish this foundation that will help youth to learn the fundamentals of sports and different sporting disciplines, help with leadership skills, building leadership skills, providing mentorship, also assisting with developmental growth academically. So kids will have the opportunity to be provided with the resources that they need to be successful academically, and then also community service.
Now, the program will be free to students, and Dr. Ford says she's hoping the corporate community can assist, whether financially, through donations, or volunteering.
We are running 50-50 is a big thing for me. So the 50-50 Dream Big initiative. Let's sponsor 50 kids to be able to start the Wenty Ford Sports Foundation after school academic and sports program. Donation can come in the form of monetary donation, equipment, donation even with there's individuals out there, maybe retired coaches, maybe retired teachers, or just persons to just live and reside in the community that have some free time.
Coming up after the break, the weather report is on its way, and news is uninterrupted. We provide this service 7 days a week. The details coming up when our news weekend returns. Welcome back. Cloudy with pockets of showers today, but let's have a look at what temperatures are going to look like through the week. News doesn't stop for the weekend, and neither do we. It was the tagline when cable news first introduced weekend news back in 2012. Since then, the weekend news team hasn't missed a beat. Tonight, Christina Dragovich takes us for a walk down memory lane with a few faces who have brought you weekend news.
Want to really know what's going on in the Bahamas on the weekend? NB12 launched Weekend News in 2012, bringing fresh, breaking news to the Bahamian people.
Weekend news like never before with coverage you can count on.
Nakia DeVoe was the anchor who carved out the space and set the pace. In celebration of the 20th anniversary of news on Cable 12, we spoke to DeVoe Christie about those early days.
It was really exciting because it wasn't as if someone had already created this product and just said, okay, Nakia, we want you to get on the desk. When I was approached to do it, it was sort of, this is going to be a baby. So I was really hands-on with it and played an integral role on how it was going to look, how the setup was going to look. So I worked closely with the guys on that. I think I stressed them out a bit. I was able to completely get my hands into the package, what goes where, what comes, how we're going to flow, which stories are going to take precedence. And then I was able to actually get some excitement around it because, at first weekend news, nobody wanted to really work the weekends. It seemed to be a chore, but then we made it fun,
Prior to the launch of Weekend News, NB12 aired strictly Monday through Friday, but the time was ripe to take on the weekend.
At that time, we were really popular, making waves for NB12 and saying we're missing all this stuff happening on the weekend, all these exciting things going on the weekend, and why do we have to wait until Monday to come out with these stories that have happened on Saturday, on Sunday?
Another trusted voice also got his start on the Weekend News desk, Kyle Joaquin.
My first time anchoring 2014, I think I was there for 4 months at the time. You don't usually jump in the anchor chair that soon. And it was I guess a mistake because the weekend anchor, she couldn't make it at the time. And so I had to fill in. And I would never forget my first time sitting on the desk and reading it and going over it. The then editor at the time, Bonnie Toot, she came in with me, and I always love her and appreciate this for this. She was just there coaching me along the way.
As Cable 12 celebrates 20 years of news, we salute our weekend team, those in front of and behind the camera who help us to bring you the stories of the day every day. Although the face of weekend news may have changed over the years, one thing remains true: the commitment to fresh, accurate news. Reporting for Our News, I'm Christina Dragovich.
Well, the Cable 12 News family continues to celebrate 20 years in the business. Be sure to visit ournews.bs for more stories like this. We thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend Edition. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Enjoy the rest of your evening.